Here are the main points made by Dr. Ted Naiman in an interview with Michael Mutzel of High Intensity Health and in his new book, The P to E Diet. The P to E stands for protein to energy ratio. Based on his clinical research and the latest nutrition science, Dr. Naiman shows how protein is the key to reducing insulin resistance. He makes the following key points. As trainers, we need to know if our clients are insulin resistant. If they are, then the traditional calories in, calories out diet and exercise will not work for them. And just as we would never blame a diabetic for being overweight, if our client is insulin resistant, they are simply eating too many foods that are full of carbs and fat together. That is the issue, not calorie counting. If they will switch to high-protein foods, such as meat, fish, and eggs, they can become insulin sensitive and lose weight.
If you look at any chronic degenerative disease, it seems to be associated with insulin resistance. The more insulin resistant you are, the higher your risks, the worse your symptoms get. The less insulin resistant you are, the better.
Insulin resistance, also known as metabolic syndrome. We eat too many carbs and seed oils, causing inflammation and prediabetes.
And so I realized that all of these chronic degenerative diseases are energy overload, and that's what insulin resistance is. You've basically tried to fit more energy in your body than it can hold. You overfill your fat cells, and then only once you've overfilled your fat cells and fat has no place to go, does your glucose finally go up. And high glucose is like the final end phase of insulin resistance. So I have all these patients who are somewhere on the insulin resistance spectrum, somewhere towards diabetes or beyond. And I realized that all these people have energy toxicity. They've literally ingested too much energy in their body. Eating too much energy is something that creates all of these problems, right?
Eat mostly energy, and you are mostly energy.
It turns out that every time you eat, you're trying to get two things. The first thing you're trying to get is nutrients that you have to have, which is protein and minerals. And these come from soil. So plants absorb nitrogen for protein and minerals from the soil. And then plants capture solar energy and store it as chemical energy as carbs and fats. So you're eating to get nutrients from soil, nitrogen for protein and minerals, and then energy from the sun, which is carbs and fats. And what I realized is all of these people are over-consuming energy because we've somehow disconnected energy from satiety, right? So big picture, all of your insulin resistance, all of your energy toxicity, all of your obesity, you've disconnected energy from satiety. So you've eaten past satiety and eaten too much energy. And we've left behind the protein and the minerals, the nutrients.
Insulin resistance, energy toxicity, obesity means that we've eaten too much energy. And we've left behind the protein, the pure nutrition. Pure energy has minimum nutrient density. Pure nutrition has maximum nutrient density.
And of course, high energy density carbs and fats together is actually kind of addictive and drives overfeeding like crazy because it's so rewarding. And then what we see is people are radically overeating past satiety because they actually get negative satiety from these high energy density carbs and fats together. So I realized that satiety comes from protein and minerals and the non-energy portion of your food. And then in order to fix the problem, you have to rebalance satiety with energy. You know what I mean? Best way to do that is to target protein and go out of your way to eat foods with the highest protein percentage possible. And then you're going to get your protein and mineral and nutrient satiety at a lower energy intake.
Eat mostly protein, and you are mostly protein. Trainers need to know, are our clients insulin resistant? If so, quote, calories in, calories out diet will not work. If our client is insulin resistant, eating foods full of carbs and fat together, that is the issue, not calorie counting. If they switch to high protein foods such as meat, fish, and eggs, they can become insulin sensitive and lose weight. Insulin resistance, also known as metabolic syndrome. We eat too many carbs and seed oils, causing inflammation and prediabetes. Eat mostly energy, and you are mostly energy. All of these chronic diseases are a result of energy overload, that is, insulin resistance. Dr. Naiman says, my patients have energy toxicity. They have ingested too much energy. We eat for two reasons. One, to get nutrients, protein and minerals. And two, to get energy, carbs and fat. High energy dense carbs and fat together is addictive, and it drives our overfeeding like crazy. Satiety comes from protein and minerals. Dr. Naiman concludes with, we should eat foods with the highest protein possible. Insulin resistance, energy toxicity, obesity means that we've eaten too much energy and we've left behind the protein, the pure nutrition. Pure energy has minimum nutrient density. Pure nutrition has maximum nutrient density. Eat mostly protein, and you are mostly protein.